Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Feeling pretty good this morning. Just got back from my walk. A little bit colder out, but feels good once you get moving. I'm gonna get started here in just a second with my little yoga series that I'm gonna do this morning. And if some of you pop in, go ahead and join me, or you can try this out later. Turn the music down a little bit. If you see some crazy cats running around in the middle of this, this is like their prime time of the day to play and be silly, so bear with me with those little furry things. How I'm gonna get started this morning is I'm gonna go through a couple rounds of box breathing. If you haven't checked out my video, I think a couple days ago, I explained box breathing a little bit more in depth. I'm gonna go ahead and just get started right now, so if you pop on, my eyes are closed, that's what I'm doing. So box breathing is counts of 4. You're gonna breathe in deep for 4, hold at the top for 4, breathe out for 4, and hold at the bottom for 4. This is something that I like to do to get started with my morning, what I do with my meditation, or anytime I'm feeling stressed or high moments of anxiety. This box breathing has helped me tremendously. So I'm gonna do my best while I have Zeus jumping around on me. So here we go, let me get started. All right, so I just did 3 rounds of my box breathing. Sometimes I tend to breathe a little bit shallow. So in my box breathing, I find that by the time I get to my count 3, I'm already out of breath. So that's just when I have to remind myself to slow down and just be more present with my breath, and it helps out a lot. So just be careful with how fast you inhale, and try to stick with your count, if that makes sense. But I'm gonna get started with my stretching. We're gonna start this morning on the floor in child's pose. So what you wanna do is you wanna sit on the floor with your feet. They may or may not be touching behind you. It depends on how tight your hips are. That's okay if you have to keep your feet out to the side. But we're gonna go ahead and slowly walk our hands out all the way and rest your forehead gently on the floor. I'm gonna try to walk my fingertips up just a little bit more to deepen that shoulder stretch. What I like to do next is thread the needle. So I'm gonna leave my left hand out in front of me, and with my right hand, I'm gonna just slowly bring it underneath of my left, and I'm gonna bring my right ear down to the floor. Bring my right hand back forward, and now let's switch sides. So my left arm's gonna go underneath of my right. Left ear down to the floor, and just hold it here. Returning my left hand back to the front, and let's hold one more time in child's pose. From here, I like to rise all the way up nice and slow to a tabletop position. So in tabletop, you might have to put something underneath of your knees. You can put a towel or a pillow, anything to kind of help alleviate that stress or that tension if you're feeling it on the floor. But in tabletop, you just want to sit with your feet, with your knees right below your hips and your hands right below your shoulders. Try to suck your belly in super tight, elongate your spine, and do some shoulder shrugs. Push the floor away, sink your chest to the floor, push the floor away, sink your chest to the floor. Now let's return back to that neutral tabletop. I'm gonna do some rolls and some twists. Arch your back, roll your hips out, lean forward, anything that feels good here. Rock side to side. Now from here, we're gonna move into cat-cow posture. So go back to that neutral tabletop, and we're gonna inhale nice and deep. And as we do that, we're gonna start to arch our back, lift our chest, try to look forward, send your tailbone up to the ceiling, and hold it here. Remember to breathe while we're in all of these poses. Yoga is all about your breath, not so much the postures. So just breathe. And now let's exhale. And as we do that, begin to tuck your tailbone under, tuck your chin into your chest, and let's move into cat. Send your shoulders up to the ceiling. Press the floor away. And roll back through nice and slow, all the way to cow. And if it feels good, you can give a little moo. I made that post yesterday about, do we have to make the animal noises while we're in each posture? And it's like, yes, it'll make you feel better. Just kidding, only if you want to. One more time, move it back into Zeus's favorite pose, cat. Arch your back. And return back to that neutral tabletop position. Good morning. Jump in where I'm at or join me again later from the start. From here, we're gonna move into a plank. Hi, good morning. So from a plank pose, you wanna keep your hands directly below your shoulders, and you wanna step your feet back and hold it in a plank. Now, we're not gonna hold this very long. Let's start to slowly walk our hands back to our feet and rise up nice and slow. All right. Woo. Give a good reach to the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are. Big stretch. So we just went from a floor series. We were down on the floor in child's pose. We moved to that tabletop, rolled through some cat-cow poses, and now we're standing. So what I want you to do is we're gonna stand with our feet about hip-width distance apart. And we're gonna inhale our arms all the way up. Palms are gonna be facing each other. Big chest. And you wanna make sure you're tucking your tailbone under. Try not to arch your back like this. Squeeze those cheeks, tuck that tailbone under, point it towards the floor. So we're big, we're tall. We wanna be as long as possible. It might be a little tough, but we wanna reach. Remember to breathe. Hold it here. And relax. Good job. I'm gonna cross my right arm over my body, using my left hand to kind of bring it over more. Now begin to look over your right shoulder. Open your arms up wide. Now let's switch sides. Left arm comes across. Look over your left shoulder. Big reach out to the side. Now let's give ourselves a hug. So right arm goes over your left, grab for your shoulders. Give yourself a big squeeze. Thank yourself for being awake this morning and getting after it and giving back to yourself and your body. It's one of the most important things we can do is take time for ourselves first thing in the morning. We can't give to others until we give to ourselves. So this is great. Thank yourselves for being here, for being present this morning. Open your arms up wide. One more hug. This time cross your opposite arm over. Grab for those shoulders. Maybe pull down on your shoulders a little bit to deepen that stretch. Perfect. One more big reach. All right. Last little series, standing series that I'm gonna do this morning on this yoga video. We're gonna stand with our feet really wide. So you wanna bring out your feet super wide. Toes might be pointed slightly outward. We're gonna inhale our arms up to the side. Good. Now, I want your right toes to point forward, and I want your left toes to spin out. Left hand, let's reach it down to that left knee or left shin. Right arm goes high. You may or may not be able to look up at your right fingertips. If you want more of a challenge, try to look up past those fingertips, or you can just look forward. Hold it here. Now let's slowly rise up. And we're gonna switch sides. So left toes, point them forward. Right toes, spin them out. Right hand to your right knee or your right shin. You wanna pull that left shoulder back, open up your chest. We're trying not to be down towards the floor. We're trying to be open to the front. Maybe try to pretend like you're between two panes of glass and you're trying to stay in between them. Now rise up. All right, so from here, both of your toes, point them forward. Arms are out wide. Let's slowly begin to forward fold, stopping halfway. So we want a nice flat back. We want to send our butt to the wall behind us. Our arms are out to the side like airplane wings, and we're holding it here. Go ahead and bring your hands to heart center. Now reach both of your hands down to the floor. If you have to, widen your feet a little bit more to make contact with the floor, do that. Hold it here. Try to lift your chest forward. Try to elongate your spine. Good, hold it here. Left hand stays down on the floor. Now let's lift our right arm towards the ceiling. We're gonna leave our chest facing the floor. We can look down at the floor during this stretch. Wiggle those fingers up top. Now, right hand comes down. And let's slowly begin to shift and go to our left arm high. Reach, hold it here. Left hand back down to the floor. Last stretch of the morning, as we're gonna move into a wide goddess squat or a Buddha squat. So you might have to move your feet in a little bit. Toes are angled outwards. You can place your hands on your knees, or if you wanna deepen your stretch, you can go without your hands and go lower. I'm gonna put my hands on my knees this morning. What we wanna do is we wanna send our butt back, big chest, hands on your knees, pushing those knees outward, deepening that stretch. Rock side to side. Do whatever feels good. We're gonna hold it here just a little bit longer for 3, 2, 1. Gently begin to rise up. Shake out those legs. Roll out those ankles. Do a little shimmy. Do whatever feels good this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are watching this later, awesome. Thanks guys for checking it out. Like I said, we started on the floor with some child's pose moves, and then we moved to tabletop cat-cow, and then a little standing series. Break this up, do it however you would like. Maybe just try it out one pose for the day, try child's pose for 5 minutes or so, or do the whole series. Let me know what you guys think. I hope everybody has a wonderful, fantastic Wednesday. Yeah, all right guys, have a good day.